everybody. Welcome to Music Moves for Piano Book 3, Unit 14A. If you're just joining us at this point in the video series, what we're doing is we're dividing each of the units in Book 3 into two parts, an A part and a B part, and each of those parts is going to be about a 2-week assignment. So Unit 14A will be your assignment for a couple of weeks, and then Unit 14B will be your assignment in a couple of weeks. I'll walk you through which parts of the unit we're doing in each section. If you want more of an explanation about this, you can look back at Unit 1A, and I talk about that in just a little bit greater detail. So we're going to start by moving in duple meter. Do, day, do, chant macro beats on do. Do, 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 micro beats. Do, day, do, day, do, day, do, day. I chant micro beats, you chant macro beats. Do, day, do, day, do, day, switch. Do, 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 do. I chant a rhythm pattern, you chant micro beats. Do, day, 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 do to day. I chant a micro beats, you chant a rhythm pattern. Do, day, do, day, do, day, do, day. We're going to go ahead and do our layering, and when we do layering across the video, here's what we're doing. We're starting with our feet. Our feet have the macro beats, then we're adding micro beats here. Do, day, do, day, do, day. And I'd like for you to chant 2 rhythm patterns. If you have 2 people on the other side of the camera doing this at the same time, then you can take one of those people and can chant micro beats or macro beats. The other person can chant a rhythm pattern, and then for the second pattern, you can switch. So at least one person chant a rhythm pattern now. 1. If you're going to switch, switch now. 2. Let's go ahead and go back to our original movement now. I'll chant micro beats, you chant divisions. Do, day, do, day, do, day, switch. Do to data, do to data, do to data, do to data. I'll chant divisions, you chant a rhythm pattern. Ready, chant. Do to data, do to data, do to data, do to data. I'm going to sing a song called Fox Terrier. Bum, ba, 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 bum, bum, bum. For all of these songs from this unit on, I'm going to tell you the creative movement that's in the book. If you choose not to do the creative movement, you can always move to macro beats and micro beats for any of these songs that we're using at the beginning of each unit. Our creative movement is to think happy, bright thoughts and move your upper body as if you are a shining star. Bum, 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 ba, 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 bum, 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 bum. Bum ba bum, bum 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 bum, bum ba 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 bum, bum ba 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 bum, bum ba bum. I'm going to sing Russian Folk Song 1. Go ahead and join me in singing this. The creative movement for this song is to pretend that you're a dark cloud rolling in a dark sky. Notice how differently you move and feel compared with the last creative movement. When we're done, I'll have you name the tonality. Bum, 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 sing with me. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba, ba, bum, ba, ba, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, bum, bum. The tonality is minor. Let's go ahead and do some tonal patterns in minor. So if you're joining us for the first time in a while, What I've been doing is I am singing these patterns. I'm going to sing them on bum. You're going to sing them back on tonal syllables. These are using 3 different chords or any combination of 3 chords in minor. So, la, mi, do, la, si, la. We're focusing particularly on our subdominant chord. Re, fa, la. We also could have tones from our dominant chord. Mi, si, ti, or ti, mi, si. Our dominant chord. Or tones from our tonic chord. La, do, mi, la. What I'm going to do is I will sing the pattern on bum and I will sing it back on the syllables. When I do, I'm going to move the paper up here so you can't see me. This is so you can either sing it back and listen to me singing the syllables as you sing to give you some help, or you can come back later or the first time and hit mute when I do the response so you can try it by yourself. So this is to give you a couple of ways to work on that. By the way, we also have these same types of patterns in Unit 13A and Unit 12A. So if you need some extra work on these subdominant patterns, you can look in Unit 13A and Unit 12A, and also at the pattern CD track that has tonic and subdominant and dominant patterns on a neutral syllable. All right, here we go. La, mi, do, la, si, la. I'll sing 2 patterns at a time. Bum, 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 bum. Re, fa, la, si, mi, ti. Bum, 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 bum. La, fa, re, mi, si, ti. Bum, 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 bum. Re, la, fa, mi, si, mi. Bum, 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 bum. La, re, fa, mi, si, ti. Bum, 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 bum. Fa, re, la, si, mi, ti, mi. Bum, 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 bum. Fa, la, re, ti, mi, si. Bum, 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 bum. Re, fa, re, mi, si, mi. Bum, 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 bum. Fa, re, fa, mi, la, la. Again, if you need more practice with those, please, if you didn't sing through those, hit it on mute, just do it all right away. Please come back to these patterns throughout these couple of weeks. Just take a note of how many minutes and how many seconds it was when these patterns started. Come back, listen to that again and again as you go through these couple of weeks. And if that is difficult as well, talk to me and I'll give you some things to do before you do that will help to prepare you for that. So we're going to skip the song to sing and come back to that in Unit 14B. We're going to go ahead and come to the keyboard. Sit nice and tall, check your distance. If you don't check your distance, you're probably going to sit too close. So make sure you go ahead and check that distance. Sit tall, feet flat on the floor. Make sure you can feel your sitting bones on the keyboard, on the bench. If you're sitting like this, you're not going to feel those sitting bones. And if you're sitting too far forward, you're not going to feel them either. So if you're balanced nicely right in the center, you're going to feel yourself sitting on those two sitting bones. All right, so we're going to look at our keyboard geography and technique. And if you look at the first page of Unit 14, over here on the left side of the page, what we're going to be doing today is all four of these things. They're all getting us ready for the tonic, dominant, tonic arpeggios when Do is A and La is F sharp that we're going to do in our next section, next time. So we're reviewing everything we've ever done in A major and F sharp minor. I did not write down page numbers of these things as I went along, so I'll look those up just to help you out. So we're going to start by reviewing the A major scale, tonic, dominant, tonic, melodic cadence, tonic arpeggio, and the F sharp minor, tonic, dominant, tonic, melodic cadence, and tonic arpeggio. Both of these things are found in Unit 11. So these are on pages 35 and 37, and I'm going to write these down here. So pages 35 and 37. All right, so let's review the 35, 36, and 37, because it did say the A major scale. So let's go ahead and play the A major scale. Take a look at page 36 if you need to. Check the hands. If you haven't done this in a while, start with your left hand. Do the thumb crossing, middle finger on La. You can also play the whole scale on one finger first, just to know what notes you're looking at. As you play, if that's easy for you, go ahead and think about balancing your whole hand and arm mechanism from your shoulder all the way down to your fingertip. Arm a little up and forward as you get to that black key. Nice tall thumb to keep your hand tall. If your thumb is not tall, this is what's going to happen in your hand. Your whole hand's going to collapse, and you'll notice that that note is louder. It's hard not to make the thumb louder anyway. Look. So you need a nice tall thumb. Balancing your whole hand and arm mechanism behind each finger. Go ahead and do the same thing in your right hand. We have 3 fingers first. This is just like many of our other scales that we've learned. Thumb under. Up and forward on the black keys. A major scale. If you have not done this, make sure you play it in each hand and play separated and connected. Let's review the A major tonic arpeggio and the melodic cadence. So for the tonic arpeggio, we can play it just this way. Again, if you haven't joined us for a while, we're adding pedal to these when possible, just because it sounds so lovely. We're going to talk about pedal technique a little bit later today. And when we sing this, we're going to go ahead and sing the syllables for the short version of the A major arpeggio. Short version meaning just do, mi, so, mi, do. If it's comfortable for you to sing in a different octave, go ahead and sing there. If it's comfortable for you to sing do, mi, so, mi, do, then you can also sing our longer version going all the way up to do. Do, mi, so, do, so, mi, do. So go ahead and sing one or both of those versions now. When I do this with my hand, I'd like for you to pause the video, practice that on your own. And then we're going to go ahead and play the tonic, dominant, tonic, melodic cadence. When When you go to the black key, hand up and forward. Watch that fingering. If you haven't done so, make sure you're playing separated and connected this week. Also singing the syllables. And if you've never added left hand roots, go ahead and do that. That's do for the tonic chord, so for the dominant chord, da, da, da. Go ahead and practice that now. Then take a look over at page 37 if you need to. We're looking at the tonic arpeggio for F sharp minor. When A is do, F sharp is la. They're called relatives. They share all the same solfege on the same keys. When you start to look at key signatures, they share the same key signature. So A major and F sharp minor. Let's go ahead and play our tonic arpeggio for F sharp minor. If you can, just play with me. Are you gonna play with me too? Grin. Let's go ahead and sing the syllables for this. I'm guessing that in your... That's wonderful. Are you gonna get it?
I got my bag.
It's very important to get the bike. Make sure that you sing at least the short version, which would sound like la, do, mi, do, la. Go ahead and find a comfortable octave and sing that with me. La, la, do, mi, do, la. If you have an octave where it's comfortable to do so, you can also sing the long version going up to the higher la and coming back. And then we'll do our tonic, dominant, tonic, melodic cadence. While I play this hand and add the left hand roots, just so you can hear what that sounds like, let's go ahead and sing the syllables together. Go ahead and practice that tonic arpeggio and the cadence. So that is over in Unit 14, that's our number 1 at the top of our keyboard geography and technique. Then it says play the A major scale with one finger using a syncopated pedal. Listen carefully. If you don't know what that means, hang tight. We're going to look at this in a little while in our review section. So this is, pedal goes down, hand goes up. As soon as that note goes down, the pedal goes up and down quickly and silently. Up, down. Up, down. Just one finger for your scale so you can focus on the pedal. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. And then you can go back down doing the same thing. So if you're not sure what to do for that syncopated pedal, just wait. If you do know, go ahead and play that now. Then play the tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic arpeggios when A is do and F sharp is la. And I was thinking about this, and I don't think that these are in the book because we've done all of the tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic arpeggios for all of the major keys for a very long time. If you've been doing this sequenced with me on the videos. If you haven't been doing this with me on the videos, we're going to play our tonic arpeggio when A is do. And then our subdominant, do, re, mi, fa, D major chord. E major chord, and then back to A major. So let's go ahead, if you're ready, go ahead and play those with me. If not, go ahead and practice those now. Let's go ahead and play those together. I'll sing the roots while we play. I'll sing up an octave. Do, fa, sol, do. And then we're going to play those arpeggios when F sharp is La. So these I don't think we've done before. So we know our tonic arpeggio when F sharp is La. And then we need our subdominant arpeggio. Now in the last unit, on page 41 in unit 13, we were talking about all of our minor triads. So our subdominant chord is going to be another minor triad. So F sharp is tonic. And then play your first four notes of the scale. La, ti, do, re. B is going to be B minor is our subdominant chord. So go ahead and find your B minor chord. And then for dominant, La, ti, do, re, mi. It's a C sharp major chord. So your dominant chord in minor tonality is going to be a major chord. And then back to F sharp minor. So go ahead and just find those chords with me. F sharp minor, and then B minor, and then C sharp major, and F sharp minor. Go ahead and practice that now if you need to. And let's play those together while I sing the roots. La, re, mi, la. That's number 3. And then for number 4, we're going to play the A major, tonic, subdominant, dominant triads in 3 positions. If you've been with us for this last several units of video series, we've been doing this a lot. If you're just joining us after a while, take a look at page 31. This is the beginning of unit 10. And I'm going to write that down in my book, page 31. So on page 31, we talked about the 3 positions of a major triad. We talked about root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Paying close attention to the fingering. Thumb, middle, pinky, thumb, pointer, and then back to the middle finger in the middle. And we sang the syllables for dominant, for tonic, for subdominant, and for dominant in each of those positions. So for example, do, mi, so, do, so, do, mi. And then we sang it again, like this is a fa, la, do. Fa, la, do, la, do, fa, la. And then once more, like it's a dominant chord. So, ti, re, so, ti. So 3 different positions and 3 different sets of syllables. Make sure you're playing those in each hand. So you could do one in the right hand, and then when you do fa, la, do, you could do it in the left hand. So, ti, re, you could do it in the right hand. So that's the 3 positions. Now, for this it says A major, tonic, subdominant, and dominant triad. So we're going to do it a little bit differently than that. So we're going to take the tonic triad in A major and play just that in 3 positions. So go ahead and play and sing with me. You can listen once and then join if you want. Do, mi, so, do, mi. Go ahead and join me if you didn't before. Do, mi, so, do, mi. Then we're going to take the A major subdominant chord. Do, re, mi, fa. Got to think about my octave here. At some point when you're singing, you're going to have to switch octaves. It's just going to happen when you have something like this. All right, so starting on fa, la, do. Go ahead and join me. D major chord. fa, la, do, la, do, fa, do, fa, la. That's our subdominant. And then dominant triad, an A major. Do, re, mi, fa, so. An E major chord, starting on so, ti, re. Go ahead and play and sing. So, ti, re, so, re, so, ti. If you have any questions about any of those, let me know. If this is all extra explanation and you know what we're doing already, sorry, this is what happens when we've got different sets of things that we're working on all at once. So go ahead and practice all 4 of those throughout the next couple of weeks while you have this for your assignment. And then we're going to go ahead and look at the exploration, creativity, improvisation. So if you notice, we have a couple of projects over here on the right side of the page and a couple of projects on the left side of the page. We're going to do the projects on the left side of the page today and save the ones on the right side of the page for our Unit 14B. So looking at Project 1, audiate a meter and a rhythm pattern, improvise a melody using 2 minor triads that are white, black, white. So if we look back at page 41, our white, black, white minor triads are C minor, F minor, and G minor. Go ahead and play those with me. Back to C minor, and F minor, and G minor. So pick 2 of those. You're going to use those for your improv. I'm going to do C minor and G minor. Audiate a meter and a rhythm pattern. So do to dee do da dee da dee do. You can decide how many times you want to play your rhythm pattern. At some point, go back and forth between your 2 minor triads. Go back to thinking about some of our composition techniques. When you do your improvisation, think about repetition, think about contrast, and think about variation. So if you noticed, I used 1 rhythm pattern in 1 spot. Something like that, and then when I go to the other chord, I'm going to repeat that rhythm pattern and maybe repeat the same way that I play it on the triad. Then when I go back to my first one, I'm going to vary it a little bit so that it sounds different. So we have some of that repetition that gives it internal logic, makes it sound like it all fits together, and also some of that variation that gives us more interest. So go ahead and do an improv using 2 different minor white, black, white triads. Audiate a meter and a rhythm pattern before you start. Then let's look at number 2. We're going to experiment with contrasting styles of articulation. Use a separated touch, a connected touch, and an accented touch. So this is any meter, any rhythm pattern. Again, we're thinking about those 3 elements of composition. We're thinking about repetition, variation, and contrast. And here, our contrast is going to be articulation. So do to day to do day do day to do. So they're contrasting between a connected touch and a separated touch. When you do this, you don't have to think of separated as an on-off switch. You're either separated or you're not. There are very different degrees of separation, which we're going to talk about some in Unit 14B. You can be very separated or a little separated, and those have very different sounds. So go ahead and play something, audiate a meter and a rhythm pattern before you start, any notes, any keys, think about at least 2 contrasting styles of articulation. You can use also an accented touch with lots of energy released from your shoulder down to your fingertips, and very firm fingertips with a nice stable finger to support that sound. Go ahead and play that. If you have any questions about any of these, be sure to let me know. And we have always some improv activities that are not in your book, so we're going to do a couple of things. Right now, our first one, we're going to chant the rhythm patterns from a familiar song in book 2. So you get to choose some song that you know really well from book 2. So remember, you don't want to get rid of your book 2 because we're going to keep using it. If you're using the notation book, we'll certainly be using it for the notation book, and we'll be using it for a lot of these improv activities as well. So I have here Russian Folk Song 2 open. This is page 38 in book 2, and here's what the song sounds like. It's in duple meter, minor tonality, La is D. Melody starts on do, de, do, here I go. So I'm going to play it again. Start to think about the rhythm patterns. Do, de, do, here I go. Do, and then repeat. So do de do, chant with me. Do de do de do de do, do de do de do do. Do de do de do de do, do de do de do do. So let's use those same rhythm patterns and come up with a new melody. You can use any keys anywhere. By the way, that was another type of variation. I started going one direction in a scale, then I went in a different direction. So that's another way you can do variation. You can start your second pattern with the same idea, but maybe moving in a different direction. So go ahead and play an improvisation, a new melody that uses those 2 rhythm patterns. Do, de, do, de, do, de, do, do, de, do, de, do, do. Our other thing that we're going to do today for improv is there's always a rhythm pattern. There's some kind of rhythm pattern that I give you and we do something with it. So for this rhythm pattern, you're going to imitate it with your voice. You're going to play it on one key. You're going to improvise using any piano keys. Make sure you experiment with playing 2 or 3 keys at a time. And then answer the idea using either the same or a different rhythm pattern. So I'll give you an example of how this all could look, and then you get to do it. So first of all, here's our pattern. Do, de, do, here I go. Do, de, do, de, do. Let me improvise something with it. So I answered my idea in a different octave using a slightly different rhythm pattern. So go ahead and when you improvise, use any piano keys. Experiment with playing 2 or 3 piano keys at the same time. Do, de, do, ready, chant. Do, de, do, de, do. Do, de, do, de, do. One key. Do, de, do, de, do. Get ready to improvise. Ready, play. Do, de, do, de, do. And answer. We're going to go ahead and look at some review. So we're reviewing units 12 and 13. So in your book 3, we're going to turn backwards to the beginning of unit 13, starting with the minor triads. So what I'd like for you to practice this week is just continuing to play all the minor triads. As you probably remember from the major triads, we're going to use these in all kinds of ways. So I want you to be really, really comfortable with playing all of the minor triads. So practice them. You can practice them in their categories, all the white, white, white minor triads. Remember, if you look at the bottom of the page, you can do them arpeggiaed, left hand to right hand, and solid triads, left, right, together. If you put that all together, it sounds like this. It's a nice way to play them because you really get it under your fingers. So you can play the A minor, then D minor, because these are all your white, white, white triads, and then E minor. Then you can find all your white, black, white triads, then all the black, white, black triads. So white, black, white, C minor. When you get to the oddballs, let's just review those together. B minor, you have white, white, black. Go ahead and play that one. B flat minor, which feels like you've just turned a mirror image on this. Black, black, and then white. Go ahead and play that. It's kind of a fun and creepy sound to go from B flat minor, to B flat minor. If you really want to heighten the creepy factor, play B minor loudly, and then B flat minor softly. And then E flat minor, all black keys. So you can do it that way, practicing them in the categories, or you can mix it up. You can get out some flashcards, put every one of these on a flashcard, and just practice them in random orders. You can also just close your eyes, stick your hand on the key. Okay, F. Like that. That's another way to randomize it without doing flashcards. So whatever you do, practice all of them every day. That's the first thing. Second thing is we have triple Love Somebody. And what we're adding this time is 2 new keyalities. So let's do a quick review for the melody and the accompaniment, and then we're going to go ahead and put this in a couple of new keyalities or with new tonics. Triple meter, major tonality, Do is C, melody starts on Do. Do-da-dee-do, play with me if you want, and go. So the melody, at the beginning we have that Do, Mi, So, and a re stepping to Fa. The rhythm is do, dee, do, da, do, dee, do. Rhythm for the next 2 phrases is the same. The pattern at the end of the second phrase is backwards. Do, mi, so, Fa stepping to Re. Third pattern is the same as the first one. And then the end is Mi, Re, Do. Mi, Re, Do. Rhythm do, dee, do, ta, dee, ta, do, dee, do. Go ahead and just move your hands like this and chant that ending rhythm pattern. Ready, chant. Do, dee, do, ta, dee, ta, do, dee, do. One more time. Do, dee, do, ta, dee, ta, do, dee, do. Remember, when you do that repeated note on the D, try to find that place in the key that it rebounds. So when you go to play a key and you let go, at a certain point in there, you're going to feel where the hammer is actually letting go. And you can play in just that section of the key. You don't have to let the key all the way up every time, unless you're playing on a digital keyboard, in which case you do, and it's a very different feel. So if you're on an acoustic piano, somewhere lower in the key is going to be the rebound spot. So you're playing as small and gentle of a movement as you can. And think of it as something that actually starts back at your elbow, and you're making this little jiggle. It looks like I'm jiggling my wrist, but I'm not. The wrist is just responding to the movement. It starts back here. The finger is just stable and as small of a movement as you can. Practice that to try to make it coordinated. This is a challenging thing to get used to, but once you can do it well, it's something that is going to transfer to many other pieces. So then the accompaniment uses this chord pattern. I'm going to go ahead and play just do and so, do, so, do, so, do, so, do, so, do. Those are our chord changes. The actual accompaniment pattern for the first 3 patterns starts on Mi for the tonic chord, and then it moves in the opposite direction to the melody. At the ending, it has this lovely so fa mi. One of the most lovely ways to go 1-5-1. So fa mi. So beautiful. Go ahead and practice that now, playing that hands together. And we're going to play this in 2 new kealities, or with 2 new tonics, but in major tonality. So let's go ahead and play in A major. We'll just use our wonderful A major and play both hands. Do something to get yourself set in A major. We've practiced all the stuff. You can play the tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic, arpeggios. Play something in A majors to get yourself in that key. And then think that do, mi, so at the beginning, and then re, to, fa. In the left hand, think about starting on mi. Go ahead and play this in A major. And then let's play it in another major key of your choice, doing the same things. So go ahead and play some kind of tonic, subdominant, dominant, tonic arpeggios, tonic, dominant, tonic, melodic cadence, springtime 1, springtime 2. Play something to get yourself in that key. Think about do, mi, so, and then re to fa. The other hand, think about starting on mi, fa to re, and then play. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you mark today's date on whatever you had not done with the melody in the right hand, melody in the left hand, 2 new kealities, accompaniment, and hands together. So any of that you didn't already have marked down, make sure to mark. And then we're going to look backwards to Unit 12. So we're finishing up our review of whole tones or whole steps. This is on page 38. And what I'd like for you to focus on this week is just continuing to practice playing a series of 5 whole tones. So if I start here, I play 1 whole tone, 2 whole tones, 3 whole tones, 4 whole tones, 5 whole tones. It makes a really neat sound if you have the pedal down. find that in 4 or 5 places on the keyboard each day. So again, you can put your hand, start anywhere. All right, starting on B flat. You can go down. Here are my 5 whole tones. Okay, starting here. You can do it without the pedal. So find at least 4 or 5 of those series of 5 whole tones in a row so that you're playing a whole tone scale, just finding whole tones in different places on the keyboard. So that's what you're practicing for your whole tones. Then we'll look at Leaves Are Falling. For this one, we're also going to add 2 new keyalities because we had just learned the accompaniment and hands together in our last unit. So go ahead and just play with me, hands together. If it's been a while since you've looked at this, then go ahead and listen to track 24. I will break this down a little bit. So make sure you're listening to that accompaniment with the Remember what we talked about in the last unit. When you're playing this accompaniment, what you really don't want to do is hammer on those thumb notes. So you need a tall thumb. Go ahead and play everything gently in the hand. And then when that is easy for you to do, then start trying to lean a little bit just into the do in each macro beat for this hand. Do da dee, do da dee, do da dee, do. When you put the pedal down, do da dee, do a little bit of a singing line. So it sounds very nice to do it that way. So go ahead and practice that hands together, and then we're going to put it in 2 new keyalities. I would like for one of them to be F sharp minor, since we're doing all this practice in F sharp minor. Make sure you transpose the accompaniment as well, and then another new keyality of your choice. So go ahead and play that hands together, and then play it in 2 new keyalities or with 2 new tonics. Make sure you mark today's date on everything you had not done so far, starting with the melody, both hands, 2 new keyalities, accompaniment, and hands together. Last thing for review is we're looking at Handkerchief Dance. So this is in duple meter, major tonality, Do is G. Melody starts on Do, Mi, So. Do, let's see. Do, day, do, here I go, play if you can with me. If you need some help working on this song, take a look at Unit 12B. If you look right at the end of Unit 12B, we went in detail over this song. And also in Unit 13A, we looked at the accompaniment and we spent some time with that. So take a look at those videos if you need some help working on this. And we're going to put this in 2 new keyalities. Again, when you're trying to play this, keep that left hand just a little bit quieter. So make sure you play it in A major and another keyality or with another tonic of your choice. Think about those tonal patterns at the beginning before you start to play. So think about the so, mi, fa, re, and then mi, do, re, mi, do. That'll help get you started. And then in the left hand you need do, so, ti, so. Again, balancing your arm over each finger. All right, go ahead and practice that, play in 2 new chialities. Mark those things down, make sure you have everything done all the way through hands together. You can ask me if you have any questions. And then we have a new keyboard piece for this unit. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Just listen to this. Move to macro beats. Tell me if this is in duple or triple meter. So this is in duple meter. Can you name the tonality? This is major tonality. Can you audiate the resting tone? Do. This song has 2 parts. Go ahead and chant the division rhythm pattern for the first part, and then I'm going to have you audiate the second part and compare the rhythm patterns. So I'm going to play this one more time, and I'll play the whole song just so you can hear it if it's been a while since you've been listening to this, and then go ahead and I'll have you chant the rhythm for the first part. So this is the whole song. Do, day, do, here I go. Can you chant the rhythm pattern for the first part? Ready, chant. Do-ta-day-ta, 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 do-ta-day. Now audiate the second half of the song and compare those rhythm patterns. So the 2 rhythm patterns are the same. Not all the pitches are the same, but the 2 rhythm patterns are the same. Go ahead and echo these tonal patterns, please. Do, mi, so, mi, do, ti, do, fa, re, do, mi, do, mi, do, mi, so, do, mi, so. Just as a reminder, whenever I make this motion, that's for you to breathe. Make sure you take a nice, low, deep breath whenever you breathe to do a pattern. Let's think about where those tonal patterns happen in the song, starting with fa, re, bum, bum. So 2 different places. One time you just have fa, re, and the second time you have fa, re, 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 a whole bunch of repeats. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 bum. And then again in the second half. Let's think about do, mi. Bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 bum. So it's closer to the end of that first phrase. Bum, 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 do, mi, 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 ba, bum, 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 bum. Same place in the second phrase, and then also near the end. Bum, 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 do, mi, 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 ba, bum, 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 do, mi, do. Our other pattern, do, mi, so, shows us the difference between our 2 endings. Bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 do, mi, so, compared with our last ending. Bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, 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 do, mi, do. Go ahead and turn in your book to page 44. Take a look at the music information box. We're in duple meter, major tonality. Do is E. Do. Melody starts on So. Sit in a comfortable position to play this song. You're going to use the 5-finger pattern in the middle, and your other hand, when you do the accompaniment, will be an octave lower. Let's go ahead and play the tonic, dominant, tonic arpeggios in E major. And springtime 1 in E major. If you didn't play those things with me just now, go ahead and play those. Let's play and sing tonal patterns from the song. Fa, re, do, mi, do, mi, so. Go ahead and prepare the hand that you're going to use, probably your right hand, because this is when you play hands together, that's what you'll need. Think the starting tone, audiate a rhythm introduction, and perform the first phrase while chanting the rhythm. So the rhythm introduction, do, day, do, ready, play. So go ahead and do that. Think the starting tone, have your hand and fingers ready, audiate a rhythm introduction, and perform the first phrase while you chant the rhythm. Then we're going to go ahead and play the second phrase, focus on the different ending. Think about that difference between the two. Let's go ahead and play. Do, day, do, play with me. So the first phrase ends on so. The second phrase ends on do. In a way, the first phrase is asking a question, bum, bum, bum. And the second phrase is answering it, bum, bum, bum. So when we talk about a couple of our compositional techniques of repetition, where the two phrases are almost exactly the same, and then variation where the ending is different, this shows a couple of those things. Let's go ahead and play the whole song. I'll play the accompaniment with you. Do, day, do, play with me. Let's go ahead and play the tonic and dominant changes. We're going to use do for tonic and T for dominant. If you're ready, go ahead and just play with me. Otherwise, listen. Do, day, do, play at least this hand with me or listen. If you need to, you can go ahead and stop at the chord changes if this is a lot to coordinate. You can play those two. You go to the next chord change. So that's a wonderful practice technique, by the way, even if you're not having trouble with this piece, is that if you're having something that's in different sections, in this case the sections are chord changes, then you can practice just within the section to make yourself hear that section. There's tonic, there's dominant, tonic, dominant. So you can hear those sections happening, and then to put it together, you start to play across the section. So you could put two sections together. In this case, two chord changes. You hear that move from tonic to dominant, and then you go tonic, dominant, something like that. So just a technique to keep in your hat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you your assignments. If you have an assignment book, go ahead and grab that. If you don't, you need a piece of paper or to mark this in the beginning of your book. So here are your assignments. Number 1, review the pattern CD, tracks 27 and 28. Those were the new tracks for units 12 and 13. And listen to the book 3 audio tracks. These are the online audio tracks that go with the book. Tracks 28 and 29. That's the song to sing for this unit, which we'll do in 14B, and also Slovakian folk song. So pattern CD tracks 27 to 28, and book 3 audio tracks 28 to 29. Number 2, keyboard geography and technique. On the left side of page 43, all 4 things. Number 3, improv. Same page, left side. Numbers 1 and 2. Number 4, review units 12 to 13. Number 5, Slovakian folk song on page 44. And then number 6, we've been working our way through all of these projects in the back of the book. We're currently looking at page 60. Oh, I put the wrong page on here. Page 65, the 2-tone tonal patterns from major scale degrees. So if you haven't been with us in a while, we just did projects 1 through 4 in unit 13. So we're going to do for this projects 5, 6, 7, and 8. We've kind of gotten the feel for this. We're going to go ahead and finish it. So we'll just do project 5 together right now, and then you can practice all of them over the course of the week. So we're going to pick a major scale. Let's do D major. Play your tonic, dominant, tonic arpeggios in D major. Do, so, do. Then play the D major scale. We're going to play and sing each interval from so going up. So, la, so, di, so, do, so. And then intervals going down from so. So, fa, so, mi, so, re, so, do, so. You do the same thing with la, same thing with T. Remember, if you're playing more than one of these in a single day, then make sure when you go to the next scale, the next key, say you're going to do project 6 in E major, play those tonic, dominant, tonic arpeggios and the scale before you start. Or if you're going straight from 5 to 6, both in D major, play the tonic, dominant, tonic arpeggios again before you start, because as you sing just the intervals from one tone of the scale, you might start to lose the scale a little bit. So that can help you keep the scale in your heads. All right. I know that was a lot. I know we had extra explanation, but that will decrease as we get to unit 15. They should be a little bit shorter after this. So thank you very much for joining me for Music Moves for Piano, Book 3, Unit 14A. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.